Good morning, ladies and gents. It is Super Bowl week. It's exciting, right? Um, you should have completed your challenge questions by now. How'd you do? How did you do? I mean, are you understanding how to do these three blue boxes? And if that answer is yes, man, you are off to a fantastic first half of the year. The first half, it's got to be over soon. We're right around that first half mark right now. We've learned a lot in math, and these challenge questions really test if you have built your strength, if you've learned it, and if you understand it. And then more importantly, it gives you one more opportunity um, to kind of strengthen any area that you're struggling with. So today we are learning. We're on Unit 5, Lesson 2. Hopefully you picked up your book, and if you did not, your parent can come and pick it up from the office. Um, but what we are going to do today is, as you can see, Unit 5, Lesson 2 is pretty short. I mean, there's only, 7 questions? So we are just going to work on just a few problems, and we're just going to take our time on those problems, okay? So feel free to pause, to try to complete the problem before watching me get the answer, and then watch how I get the answer and see kind of where you have to tweak it, okay? So if you look on page 197, they're just showing us a couple of different ways to divide. Now, multiplication, I really like to show you all these different ways, but in division, I just like to kind of stick to our traditional division method instead of showing you the different ways, okay? Because I feel like it just kind of confuses folks more so, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to change my screen so you are watching my piece of paper here, and I'm going to work some of these problems out for you. So the only change that we really see today is instead of having a normal single digit divisor, we are going to have a double digit divisor. And what makes double digit divisor more difficult is that we don't memorize the facts of these double digit divisors, okay? So, for example, 32. What's 32 times 7? Well, we don't know. We don't know, but what is happening here does not change. The outside number is what we're making groups of. And we are going to pull those groups out of the inside number. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to say, what are we pulling 32 out of first? Are we going to pull it out of 2? Are we going to pull it out of 20? Or we're going to pull it out of 204? Well, the first thing we're going to pull it out of is 204 because it's the first number that's bigger than 32. So how many 32s can you take out of 204? Well, there's a couple different techniques here. One thing we could do is figure out what 10 it's closer to. It's close to 30, right? And now we can count by 30s to figure out how close or how many 32s we're guessing is going to be in 204. So 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210. So 7 would be 210. So what some people do is they turn it into an easy number to help them estimate or guess. And then they see if they take out 7, what that would be. So if I take out 7 groups of 32, it'd be 224. And then they ask themselves that question, can I take out 7 groups? And that answer is no. You cannot take out 7 groups because you only have 204. So it's got to be 6 groups. it's got to be 6 groups. So now somewhere I figure out, well, if I take out 6 groups of 32, what will that be? It'll be 192. So now I want to figure out what is left. There's 12 left. When I took out 6 groups and I have 12 left, I just want to check and make sure that that was correct. And that answer is, yeah, that's correct, because I have some left, but I don't have enough left to make another group. So now what do I do? Well, now you bring down the next digit. How many 30s are in 128? Well, 30, 60, 90, 124. There's four of them, right? So now I figure out what 32 times 4 is, because I want to see exactly how many I would pull out if I made 4 groups of 32. This is 8, and this is 120. And if you do not like using the traditional method, feel free to use the lattice method. Okay. Either way, you see that when we pull out 4 groups, it's perfect. And there's nothing left over. So what we're learning today is just like what we learned the other day, except for it's a little more complicated because the number that we're making groups of isn't small. Okay. I'm going to show you a different way to do it that I think you're going to like it. You're going to like this next way more so. So let me go to the next page here. We have 4,032. And we are going to divide that by 79. So we want to figure out how many 79s are in. Well, what's the first thing I'm going to look at? Am I going to take 79 out of 4, out of 40, or out of 403? Well, 403. Why? Because you can't take 79 out of 4. You can't take 79 out of 40. You can only take 79 out of 403. So that's the first number we're going to pull out of. Now, remember, the way that they teach you in the book, and probably a lot of math teachers, they say, hey, instead of counting by 79s, count by 80s. That'll give you a really good idea. And if you don't like that idea, since this whole problem is going to be about 79s, I've had a lot of students that just do that math real quick. Somewhere on the side of their paper, they say 79, that's one group, right? And then they'll add 79 plus 79. And they go 18, 15. And then they go, that's 2 groups. And they go plus 79, 17, 13, 2. And that's 3 groups. Plus 79. And then they go 1, 6, 11. And that's 4 groups. Plus 79. 15. And that's 5 groups. Now I'm going to stop there. And I could always take out more groups. So what's the bad thing about this method? Well, it takes a long time, right? I promise you I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of questions. Look at today. Today there's only 7 total questions. I'm doing half with you right now, and then I'm going to do the other half with you during our Zoom. So I'm not ever going to ask, all right, you have 50 questions like this. More importantly than getting a whole bunch done is I just want you to understand how to do this, okay? So now let's use what we learned here with our problem. Now, It actually works perfect for 403. Look how close we are to 403. Can I take another 79 away? No, I know I can't, because my brain tells me this is way too close to 403. But if you want to check that out, just say, okay, let's take another 79 or add another 79. This is 14. This is 17. This is 4. Yeah, see, that's too much. Now, another issue with this is look at how much math I did. What's my chance of making a mental error? My chance of having a mental error here is pretty high, right? So you got to watch out for that. This is probably right, but there's always a chance that one of these is not right because I could have added wrong. There's a lot of adding going on here. I could have easily made a mistake. As of right now, I'm going to go, how many? I'm going to take away 5. Now, what you could do, which I know a bunch of 5th graders would not do this, is you can make sure your math was right and just do 79 times 5 real quick somewhere. 45, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 165. Did I mess up somewhere? Yes, I messed up somewhere. 45, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. I must have added. All right, so 395 was correct. 395 was correct. So now when I take out 5 groups, I'm going to put 395 and I'm going to see what's left over. So I'm going to put 13, borrow from the 40 to 39, have 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. Now I'm going to bring down the next group, or the next number. How many 79s are in 82? 1. What's left over? 3. So that's my remainder. And remember, I have 3 left, but I was supposed to have 79 for a group. So it's 51 and 3 79s. Now, they don't teach you that here. They tell you an R. I don't like R's. Mr. Stahl, that is so complicated, dude. Way too hard. At first it is, but you do all the work you're supposed to do. You keep looking at this with an open mind. It'll get easier. Once again, let's go. Let's jump over to 3. We have 1, 0, 6, 1, 1061, and we're going to make groups of 18. You try this right now and pause it, and then when you're done or when you get stuck, unpause it. See how close you were to getting the right answer. All right, I'm going to make groups of 18. First thing I'm going to pull out of is not 1, it's not 10, it's 106. Well, you can use the estimation, count by 20s. There's 5 20s in 106. Or you could use the other technique that I taught you, or you can just guess. I'm guessing 5, so I'm going to check it. 18 times 5 is 90. Is 90 good? 90 is 5 groups. Oh yeah, I could pull out 90. Can I pull out another group though? Ooh. Can I pull out another group? Another group of 18 would be 108. No, I can't pull out that. So I'm going to put my 5 here, just like I guessed. Now, remember, my next step is just to see what's left over. That was 90. So there's 16 left over, right? Now what do I do? Now you bring down the next number. And now the game of guessing again. Well, I like counting by 20, so I'm going to guess by counting by 20. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 8. So I'm going to go 18 times 8 to see if that's good. 18 times 8. 64. This is 64. This is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 8, 18 times 8 is 144. Can I pull out one more 18? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6. No, I almost can. But I just can't. I just don't have that much. So my real answer is I'm going to pull out 8. So I'm going to take my 8 away, and then I'm going to put down that took away 144. 11 minus 4, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 1. There's 17 left over. Not enough for another group. So I made 58 full groups, and then there's 17 18ths left. 58 with a remainder of, and you are going to use a lot of paper, and that's okay. I hope you guys are using scrap piece of paper. It's ridiculous to think that you're going to fit all this, in your page of 198. And once you get a scrap piece of paper and you let yourself just use paper, it'll start getting a little easier. Okay. And you guys probably have noticed that I'm kind of ignoring these directions, because what they're doing with the directions is they're basically saying, they're teaching you need to estimate, and then if your estimation's wrong, how do you adjust? Well, I think that's a little too specific on the one method, so we're just going to divide these. 3,651 divided by 74. So how many 74s are in 3? None. 36? None. 365. There we go. Remember, pause it, try it, and then unpause it. See how you did. So we're taking 74s away. Well, my guess is 5, because another way to guess is you ignore a decimal, or a digit, I'm sorry. So this would be 7, and this would be 36. And if you ignore a digit, usually that same number works for the other one. And 7 times 5 is 35. So my guess is 5. So I'm just real quick going to do 74 times 5 and see how close I come. 20, 35, 370. Okay, so can I take away 5 groups? No, 5 groups is too many. You took away too many. So instead, I'm going to take away 4 groups. Now I can do 74 times 4, using any method, of course. That's 366, which is not true. How do I know it's not true? Well, because this is 370. So where did I go wrong? Oh, I see. I put 7 times 4 is 35. So I want to change that to 28. 6 falls down. 9 falls down. 2 falls down. So it's 296. I'm going to put 296 right here. And I'm going to subtract to see what's left over. I'm going to have to borrow here. I'm going to have to borrow here. 15 minus 6 is 9. 15 minus 9 is 6. So there's 69 left over. Now I bring down the next digit. My guess is going to be 9. And my guess is 9 because 10 times 74 is 740. And I think 9, one less group of 74, will be perfect. So the most important thing is that you know how to check your guess. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 7 is 63. 666. Yeah. 11, 8, 2, 5. 25's left over. So it's 9. It is 9 that I took out there. And then there's 25 left over out of 74. So 49 and 25 70/4. Cool. All right, last one for the video, and then we'll meet at 10:30. We have 1,892 divided by 23. You can't take 23 out of 1 or 18, so we're going to go into 189. Remember, pausing it right now is an excellent idea. And then there's multiple techniques you can use. You can just guess by saying it's like 20, and there's 9 20s that go into 189, count by 20s, 2, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 189. So I'm going to use that technique and go 23 times 9 to see if that is a good one to take out. 23 times 9 is 27, and then 9 times 2 is 18, 7, so that's 207. Ooh, so is that good? Should I take out 9? No, I can't take out 9. Why? Because I don't have 207 there. So it's got to be 8. Now I check my 8 by multiplying 23 times 8. Or you could take 23 away from 23 times 9. So it's 184. How many 23s are in 52? 2. That's easy. There's 6 left over. So R6, or the way I like to look at it, is there's 6 left over, but you're supposed to have 23 for a group. All right, and that is that. If you want to try 2, 4, and 6 now, that's great. And we're going to work on 2, 4, and 6 when we get back for our live session at 10:30. All right, I hope you guys are getting this and not getting frustrated, because you will get it more and more. All right, see you at 10:30.